This one is about domain and range. Now, if we take a look at domain and range, we probably need to know what those two words mean. Domain is going to be the set of all your x's. So if you were looking at ordered pairs, like let's say we had this set of ordered pairs, maybe 2, 1, 3, 7, 8, 4. And I wanted to find just the domain. I would just list my domain as 2, 3, 8. Those are all the x's. Range is the set of all the y's, and so if I were going to list those, I would just list 1, 7, 4. Those are all the y's. And that's great if you have a finite set of points, but most of the time we'll be looking at graphs, and it's a little hard to tell sometimes what all the x's will be for a graph or what all the y's will be for a graph. So let's look at a particular graph. Let's say I wanted to graph f of x equals the square root of x plus 4. If I graph that one, I get a graph that looks like this. It starts on -4, and it keeps going out this way. That's what my graph looks like. You make sure that you can recreate this. Remember that if you're trying to graph something on your calculator, you want to hit y equals, and then you want to type in exactly what you see there. So on your screen, you're going to see the square root of x plus 4, and then you're going to hit graph so that you can see the graphs. If you have trouble with graphing, make sure that you go to academic support or you contact your instructor. So, if we're trying to find domain, we're trying to find a list of all the x's. This one is your x-axis. So you're trying to determine where this graph starts on the x-axis and where it stops. So when I look at this one, it starts right here, and it just keeps going out through there. I can't find the end of it. If I try to drag, I'm trying to find the end of my graph so that I can drag it down and find the end, it just keeps going and there's no end to it. So for my domain on this one, it starts at -4, and I put a bracket because that -4 is on the graph, it's included. And if you'll remember from interval notation, if something is included, it has a bracket. It stops at infinity, and when it's not something that we can touch on the graph, we put a parentheses around it. Infinity and negative infinity will always have parentheses. If I'm trying to determine the range, I'm looking at just this y line. So I want to know where this graph starts on the y line. So I'm looking across from my graph, and I'm only looking at the y-axis. So although this one starts on the -4 on the x-axis, I want to know what that point is on the y line. And that one starts on the 0 on the y line. And I want to see how high the graph goes up. Since this graph just keeps extending, it just keeps getting higher and higher and higher the further out we go. So there is no place that it ends. It crosses right here, but that's an intercept. We don't care about that right now. We just want to know where it ends. And we can't find the ending point, so my range would be also to infinity. So this is my domain, this is my range.